Hi there, welcome to the Book Collector. I'm Joan. This is a place where I'm on a quest to read all the books I've been collecting while I continue to collect more. My reading, I should say my buying outpaces my reading all of the time, but so be it. It's fun to read books and to collect them, for me at least. So at the end of November, around Thanksgiving, I started seeing these videos on BookTube pop up saying 10 before the end. And I didn't know it was a thing, but I already had a stack. And that was sort of my goal for myself as of my birthday is right before Thanksgiving. So as of my birthday, I said, okay, I could do 10 books before the end of the year. So when I saw those videos pop up, I thought, oh, that's very clever. And I might as well share what I'm reading. Now, there is no particular rhyme or reason to these books. It's simply a stack that I had, and Libby became available on some of them, and some of them I just wanted to read outright. So that's, again, no rhyme or reason, and in no particular order. I'm just going to have a little paper. This one, Isola, I'm not sure how you say it, but sounds so good. It just sounds interesting. It's historical fiction. It takes place, I don't know, 1800s. I'm not sure. It is a girl story and sort of how the girls are property, and I'm not sure where it's going. But from the little that I have started, it is really beautifully written, and I'm intrigued by the story. And she's a powerful character, Marguerite is. So this is one of my 10. If you've read it already and you liked it, let me know in the comments. I'm curious. This one is a book that I read with, I haven't finished, she finished, with a friend of mine called Nobody's Mother. And it's kind of a academic Christian book about a verse in the Bible. So 1 Timothy 2:15, where Paul says something about saved through childbearing. People will be saved through childbearing. So it really goes into what the culture and the climate was like at Ephesus, and what the Ephesians were into, and Artemis, the kind of main god slash goddess that was prevalent. Anyway, you may or may not be interested. I'm almost finished with this one, but it was part of my 10, so I thought I would share it. I know it's not typically what I share, but I do read a lot of that kind of stuff too, but I don't typically share it here. This book is Local Woman Missing, and it's interesting. It's told from a dual timeline and multiple perspectives. So a woman and her daughter go missing, and I think it's like 12 years after somebody else has gone missing, and another woman. And then you're in the current time where a girl and a boy are being held captive, and the girl escapes, and it all converges. And I'm maybe halfway through on this one, and I think about it a lot. I think about it a lot, and I do like the way it's being told. It kind of keeps you on the edge of your seat. I don't know if it's going to be a good payoff in the end, but I'm enjoying the process so far. Okay, this next one, I just love the cover of this, Wild Dark Shore. I am not going to say much about it other than It says Dominic Salt and his 3 children are caretakers of Shearwater, a tiny island not far from Antarctica, home to the world's largest seed bank. Shearwater was once full of researchers, but with sea levels rising, the salts are now its final inhabitants. Until, during the worst storm the island has ever seen, a woman mysteriously washes ashore. Bleh, sorry. Wild Dark Shore. It's got a great cover and an interesting premise. The next one is, we're both book of the month. So I'm trying to go through my book of the month. This is Forget Me Not. And it was published, I think, in August, and I've just been sitting on it. 22 years ago, Claire Campbell's older sister Natalie disappeared shortly after her 18th birthday. Days later, her blood was found in a car, a man was arrested, and the case was swiftly closed. In the decades since, Claire has attempted to forget her traumatic past by moving to the city, climbing the ranks of an investigative journalist, until an unexpected call from her father forces her to come back home and face it all anew. With the entire summer now looming ahead, a summer spent with nothing to do in her childhood home with her estranged mother, Claire decides on a whim to accept a seasonal job at Galloway Farm, a vineyard in coastal South Carolina, less than an hour away from where she grew up. At first glance, Galloway is an idyllic escape for Claire, a scenic retreat full of slow-paced nostalgia, as well as the place where her sister seemed truly happy in that last summer before she vanished. It feels like the perfect plan to pass the time. However, as soon as Claire starts to settle in, she stumbles across an old diary written by one of the vineyard's owners. And what at first seems like a story of young rebellion and love turns into something much more sinister as it begins to describe details of various unsolved crimes. I'm going to leave it there. It goes on. But Forget Me Not does sound kind of, also on the edge of your sleep. Now, I do start to see this pattern of these missing women washing ashore. Again, it was just what came up on Libby in that time frame. I didn't plan that. Okay, the next one is When All Is Said. This time last year, I was recovering from extensive surgery, and my book club picked an Irish-themed book in the months where I was sick, in November and December. And I ended up reading them in January, and I love them so much that I thought, ooh, I need another Irish book. So When All Is Said is my Irish pick. And it says, at the bar of a grand hotel in a small Irish town sits 84-year-old Maurice Hannigan. He's alone as usual, though tonight is anything but. Pull up a stool and charge your glass, because Maurice is finally ready to tell his story. Over the course of the evening, he will raise 5 toasts to the people who have meant the most to him. Through these stories of unspoken joy and regret, a secret tragedy kept hidden, a fierce love that never found its voice, the life of one man will be powerfully and poignantly laid bare. Oh my goodness. I have to say, I've started this, and the audio is to die for. If you have any interest in this book, please get it on Libby in audio form, or it is not like somebody reading a book to you. It is like somebody telling you that it's like you have pulled up a stool. It really is. It's lovely, and I can't wait to review fully when I'm finished. The next book I've had my eye on for a long time, Broken Country. This was a book of the month that I picked up extra because I really wanted to read it. And what does it say? Beth and her gentle, kind husband, Frank, are happily married, though their relationship relies on the past staying buried. But when Beth's brother-in-law shoots a dog after going after their sheep, Beth doesn't realize that the gunshot will alter the course of their lives. The dog belonged to none other than Gabriel Wolfe, the man Beth loved as a teenager, the man who broke her heart years ago. Gabriel has returned to the village with his young son, Leo, a boy who reminds Beth very much of her own son, who died a few years earlier in a tragic accident. Family dynamics and all sorts of things. I'm really looking forward to finishing this one. I know it's been a favorite for a lot of people. One of my other friends recommended it, and so I jumped in. This next one, Beautiful Ugly. This is actually a book club selection in February for my book club that my friends and I are part of in person. And I got a little ripping. What are you doing reading it in, November or whatever? And I was interested in it. I thought it sounded really good. So Arthur Grady Green is having the best day of his life. He calls his wife Abby to share some exciting news as she is driving home. He hears Abby slam on the brakes when she sees something in the road. Over Grady's protests, Abby gets out of the car. When he eventually finds her car by the cliff edge, the headlights are on, the driver's door is open, her phone is still there, but his wife has disappeared. A year later, Grady is still overcome with grief and desperate to know what happened to Abby. He can't sleep. He can't write. So he travels to a tiny, remote Scottish island to try to get his life back on track. And then he sees the impossible, a woman who looks exactly like his missing wife. Beautiful Ugly. Okay, the next one is a book club selection for December. I'm partway through it. This is The Emperor of Gladness. Now, I think it's an Oprah book pick. I'm not going to say much about this. I'm going to leave this to my review. Yeah, I'm not going to say much about it. I'm going to leave it for the review. That's one of my 10. And we're getting down to it. My next one, my friend Ginger, who suggested at least one of those Irish books last year, she asked me if I had read anything by Emma Donoghue, and I had not, so I quickly just ordered it, and I got it on Libby Pull of the Stars. Now, this kind of goes against my current boycott on World War II or war books. So I don't know. We'll see. I think it's a little different that I was intrigued enough. I don't think there's much in here. I think it's a nursing kind of story in Ireland. So we'll see. Gotta wait for the review. I don't know about that one. And then my last one, I may or may not finish by the end of the year. I'm going to give it a darn good try. But I want to show you that the print is pretty dang small on this. And it is a lot of pages. Not, mammoth, but if you couple small print with 365 pages, it is a pretty long book. So, what's the last one? This is also my January book club, my in-person book club. It is The Island of Sea Women. So, I was hesitant. This has been brought up a few times. I was hesitant about this book because I have seen the documentary about this. This is a fictional tale of what I saw in the documentary. So it's not the same. It's not a repeat. But so I am already pretty familiar with the culture that this encompasses. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm not very far. I'm just maybe a chapter or two in, and I'm looking forward to it. I love Lisa C's writing, and I love that I learned something about another culture in a way that's storytelling and rich in characters. And so I'm a fan of Lisa C, so I'm sure I will enjoy this as well. So that is my 10, I think, or maybe 11. I'm not sure, but that's my pile. So, do you think I'm going to finish all of those books by December 31st? Leave your guess in the comments. If you say no, I'm not going to finish, leave me a number. How many do you think I'm actually going to finish by December 31st? I do go in spurts. So there are times, like I think I read 6 books last weekend. I had already, started them and I was maybe 40 to 60% through, a good amount of them. But I did polish them off pretty quickly. So that was fun. That's all I have for you now. So until next time, keep reading.